So we mentioned on the first day that where some of the deployments are going, and that there's a lot of emphasis and partnership happening with the hey, Jean-Claude, welcome. You're coming up to the front now. There's a lot of partnership happening with and activity happening with the government of Rwanda, and they're incredibly excited, not just about Mojaloop, but about all open source DPGs. They've got very high level direction from the government to look at how the country can become more digitized from using open source DPGs like Mojaloop, and explicitly very much interested in what Mojaloop can add to the payment system. And a part of that process is they really want it to be built by the experts in Rwanda. And so as we prepare for being able to serve the country, we want to make sure that that we are building our community into Rwanda. So a big part of that is also identifying who are the leaders in the country when it comes to technology for financial services, particularly financial inclusion. In our case, it was very lucky that it was the same group of people. And so we want to take this opportunity. A few of you already know these guys. Want to take this opportunity to let them give their experience about what they do and what has been their experience so far with Mojaloop. I want to talk about how this ties into the pillars. We're about to get into infrastructure. We're about to get into a big whole morning about ease of adoption. All of you who are worried about the pillar of ease of adoption, this is your target audience. They need to be able to easily adopt Mojaloop. They are the next ones that need to easily adopt Mojaloop. If you're not serving them, you're not serving ease of adoption in the community. So I want to make sure you're able to see them, understand. Those are the people I want you to serve. So without further ado, you each are going to get about 5 minutes. I'd love to hear about your company, and then I think you're going to go first. So love to hear about your company, what you're doing in what your background is, the size of your team, what you work on, what your experience with Mojaloop has been so far, and why you're here. So Alain, if you can kick us off, please.
Yep. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Alan Kajangwe. I'm the founder and CEO of Wiredin. It's a software development company. We are almost 9 years old, and we mostly focus on offshore business with, so my business partner is Japanese. So we started this business serving clients in Japan, looking for software development services. And then now we have some clients in the US, in Europe. Of course, we do a little bit of work in Rwanda as well. My initial interest in software development was as a system integrator for payment systems, connecting them to core banking systems. Mainly, I worked around electronic payment switches. I've worked around Base24, EPS for those who know about it, Postillion. Those are the main two switches, electronic payment switches out there. And I've been talking with Steve for a while to basically tell him about the pain I felt while working with these closed off systems where you are asked to do something and then you quickly figure out that you have limitations. There is so much that you can do within a closed off system without necessarily always going to the vendor and asking them to actually do some of the customizations that your client is asking you to do. So with a system like Mojaloop, I actually see the potential that we have as developers within our reach to actually, customize it, do what we really want to do without necessarily having to depend on the vendor of some of these systems. As Steve mentioned, we have been working in Rwanda on an interoperability platform. This platform is actually live now for the past almost 6 or 7 months or 8 months around there. And I've mainly worked on what you would call the hub operator in the lingo of Mojaloop. And so the hub operator in Rwanda is a company called R-Switch. And they're the ones that basically are providing this interoperability platform to all the payment providers in Rwanda, bringing them together and then having various other institutions connect to only one endpoint instead of basically connecting to multiple endpoints in order for them to interact. So we've been very involved with that system. Like I said, it's been live on the 2 major telcos that are providing mobile money solutions, as well as a number of banks in Rwanda. And the integration so far, I like that we've talked about ISO 222. That's the chosen standard that we have gone with. And yeah, and then I'm here to basically learn a little bit more about this platform. This is my first convening. I hope it won't be the last. And yeah, I would like to connect. I've already connected with some of the people that have actually done a lot. Titsa work. We've had a few Zoom calls and trying to learn from them and see what we can do. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Alan. I just want to say a couple of things. I've been on a few of those Zoom calls, and it is, from a community perspective, incredibly exciting to watch a community member training another community member on how the process works, and having that just happen organically is absolutely amazing. Are you ready to talk about the project that you want to work on, or not yet?
Yeah, maybe I'll let, since okay. I had 5 minutes, so maybe I might have gone over that. But
I'll just briefly say there's some interesting things we've identified in Payment Manager that we're hoping Alain is going to contribute, and we've already identified them. So we very much hope you get a chance to work on that, and looking forward to helping you. Anyone wants to help Wired In and the team understand how they can contribute to Payment Manager, they're already working on it. So we highly encourage you to do that.
We're actually putting a project together, a project team together to actually start proactively doing that.
Okay. You're a lot further along than I thought. Awesome. Thank you very much, Alain. Jean-Claude, I'm going to actually give you a bye because we didn't prepare you. So Bob, if you want to tell us a little about your company and yeah, the way you've described what you do with the SACCOs as a part of that would be awesome.
Thank you, Bobson Rugambwa, and CEO and founder at Mvent Limited. We're a fintech, and basically what we talked about with Steve is we have a platform that digitizes SACCOs and VSLs and links them to the banks, basically. And what we're trying to help them with is they don't have the initial investment, so basically, it's more or less a core banking as a service kind of feature that we're building for them. And one of the things that we were talking about was now the ability to give them the interoperability through the modular platform, where you have various service providers that are doing this. And so we build the integration into our core platforms. So there is another 2 different service providers in Rwanda that are doing the same. So we do the integration into our platform so that anytime any of those SACCOs or VSLs that are working with us need to switch it on, it's very easy for them to be able to send money across the different SACCOs or even across the different VSLs, but also to give them the ability to do payments, so third-party initiated payments for their members and for some of the members that may be merchants, to give them the ability to receive digital payments from across the entire payments network that we currently have. So yeah.
Okay, so I want to highlight a couple of things there, just because if your ears didn't perk up. So number one, they're working with SACCOs and VSLAs, which are is a target for us to be able to include. Did you say I thought there was 2 companies working on this, yours and another one, or there's 3?
Yeah, there's actually 3.
There's 3,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
So before I get into that, how many SACCOs and VSLAs are you currently working with?
We're working with 3,900 VSLAs.
3,900 VSLAs. Okay. Anyone who knows about working with VSLAs, Village Savings and Loan Associations, they're digitizing 3,900 VSLAs. And there are two other companies in Rwanda that they are partnering with to reach the rest of them. So continue. How many SACCOs?
So basically, SACCOs is about 70 something. The other one is still a smaller segment for us. We'd focused a lot on the VSLS because they're the ones that had a much bigger challenge to deal with. And so basically what we're looking at is the bilateral arrangements for pull and push with mobile money. Those tend to be tedious and expensive. And so we're trying to see how we can make it very easy for them to be able to send money across. The other challenge, of course, is sometimes you find a single member has accounts in two VSLs or two different SACCOs, and they want to be able to easily move money. Currently, they have to pull it from the SACCO or the VSLA into their mobile wallet and then push it to the other account. Of course, that increases the cost significantly. So those are some of the things that we're trying to solve.
And one of the things that I would like to highlight is, so first of all, again, 70 SACCOs, and then just said, okay, well, that's the smaller part of it. 70 SACCOs is still pretty significant. So with SACCOs, it's on the RNDPS roadmap to get them connected into RNDPS. But there's still going to be a lot of operational challenges, not just technical challenges to do that. Our best opportunity to try to address some of those operational challenges, are hoping, working with you and some of your colleague organizations, getting you connected into a Emoji Loop early so we can identify those operational challenges early. The other one is, for anyone who's working with VSLAs before, correct me if I'm wrong, this hasn't changed yet. The government has not yet given built the policy for VSLAs to connect into RNDPS.
There's currently an ongoing study for that. So we're waiting to see how it goes.
So I don't know if Africanunda is still here, but what they have, there's three competing companies who are serving VSLAs, and they're collaborating to try to lobby the government to allow VSLAs to participate directly in RNDPS. So I would just say, could not find a group more aligned with what you're trying to do. We're hoping to help you with that. And what we're hoping to do is continuing what we talked about is, if we can demonstrate to the government that this is possible by showing that operationally it is safe for a VSLA to participate in a Emoji Loop through the MVent platform, then we think that might help influence the policy change. So very much hoping to do a demonstration of that with you guys. And so we can get that policy change enacted in time for RNDPS. So thank you for being here, Bob. If anything I just said, this works. I hope you were listening. Michael, Sam, we were just talking about 3PPI. They're looking at 3PPI for VSLAs. There's a lot of excitement about what they're doing. I highly recommend everybody talks to Bob. Jean-Claude, who's been with us now already. So most people know him. Please introduce yourself, and Orion.
Good morning. My name is Jean-Claude, CEO of Orion Systems and Design Limited, a company based in Rwanda, but serving East Africa. So we are serving 26 commercial banks across East Africa. We provide payment system integrations with banks, with e-wallets. So far, we are happy to have been participating in implementation of Rwanda National Digital Payment System. So we provided the middleware for MTN, the biggest MNO we have in Rwanda. So we are the ones who onboarded them to be able to send money now from MTN to Airtel. And the system has been live since December last year. So we are also connecting, we have signed contract with 5 banks so far in Rwanda to connect them to this instant payment system being implemented. It's not on Emoji Loop because we are handling P2P so far, but also we are piloting business to person with one commercial bank on Emoji Loop. So this is when I heard about Emoji Loop, and I also attended the last conference in Arusha. So, and now we are looking at how we can use Emoji Loop now to implement some of the solutions we already have. We have agency banking, mobile banking, and internet banking. And now we are looking at how we can provide shared agency banking, shared mobile banking, and shared internet banking through Mojaro, where instead of letting, let's say, central banks implement on national switch, implement this Mojaro switch, we are looking at how we can bring on board one commercial bank that can serve as a settlement bank for the other microfinances that are not able to procure themselves internet banking, agency banking, and mobile banking themselves. So that bank can provide their platforms, agency banking, mobile banking, and internet banking, but to serve the customers of those microfinances that cannot have their own e-channels. So this is what we are looking at. We have already done a pilot phase with one bank in Burundi, because in Burundi, we are serving 11 banks. In Rwanda, we have 15 banks. So in Burundi, you got one bank that has a strong e-channels that we have provided ourselves. And now we are upgrading the system to handle even to onboard even clients from other microfinances. So this is what we have done. The system is being tested, but now we are looking at how we can expand it and deploy it on Mojaro just to handle this settlement part. How can we onboard the agents and microfinances through Mojaro? So that's one of the reasons we are here. And again, we are looking at working on Mojaro project in Rwanda. So from the last meeting in Arusha, when we went back, we met the Rwanda Information Security Agency, and we took through other fintechs who didn't manage to participate. We introduced what Mojaro is and what are the capabilities for Mojaro, and we are looking forward working with you. Thank you.
Okay, well, we are very much looking forward. Thank you, Jean-Claude. That was a lot. I actually didn't realize you were working that much on some of the commercial things. Again, I'd say for me, I think some of the conversations on the commercial bank settlement model that Jean-Claude is looking at, probably Min would be interested to share some experiences there, as well as the team from Infotix that really actually built a lot of that commercial settlement model for WinePay. So I hope we can share those experiences as well. So as we move into this next session, these next 4 sessions, which are all going to be about infrastructure and deployments, I really hope you guys are thinking about how does this serve me? So as we talk about Miniloop as a way of very quickly demonstrating some capabilities, maybe it serves as a good demonstration for the regulator for MVEND and the VSLAs. We think about talking later on with the Azure deployment. Maybe that's something that the commercial banks are more interested in doing, especially if those want to serve across a variety of markets. So I hope that you guys have a chance to really think about how this infrastructure is going to help ease your onboarding into the community. But I also hope that the next 4 presenters do think about that. These are your 3 customers that you're trying to serve. So I encourage you to think about that. So again, thank you very much, gentlemen. And I encourage everyone to talk to them offline at one of the breaks. Thank you.